Session 6, Emotional Regulation. Tonight's activities focus on emotional regulation with an emphasis on managing anger. Families will hear and discuss stories that model productive responses to strong emotions. Then, participants will split into breakout groups. Both groups will explore a temper gauge, and youth will play an anger management game, while adults conduct a talking circle. Finally, the group will get back together to watch a video, time permitting, and families will continue working on their trees of life. The session starts as usual by getting together and welcoming participants to today's activities. You can briefly introduce the theme of today's session, emotional regulation and anger management. Invite the elder to conduct whatever ceremony, protocol, or acknowledgements are appropriate for the session. You can budget about 5 minutes for this portion of the program. After the opening is mealtime. If you decide that it's appropriate, you can ask the elder to bless or give thanks for the food. Invite families to serve themselves and give priority and assistance to elders and anyone who might need extra help. Make sure that everyone lends a hand to clean up. In total, the meal should take about 30 minutes. Once you've finished eating and cleaned up, you'll be collecting feedback on the last session from participants. This should take about 10 minutes and involves asking the group the following questions. What were some of the take-home messages from last week's session on healthy selves and healthy relationships? What can we do to feel strong and well? Next, you can review the take-home activity by asking the group, would someone like to share some of the things they do to calm down when they're feeling angry? After reviewing the take-home activity, you'll be leading participants through a story that illustrates the different building blocks of a challenging situation. You'll begin with a flip chart, where you'll explain the formula of an event that 1. Stirs up feelings, 2. Leads to a reaction, and 3. Produces an outcome. The idea here is that we might not always be in full control of the events we're faced with, but we can learn to manage our reactions and, in turn, improve the outcomes of events in our lives. Take a look at Part 3 of Session 6 in the manual for a full description of this activity. Schedule about 5 minutes for this part of the session. Once you've explained the formula, you'll be telling the story of Larry Loudmouth, which you can also find in Section 3 of Session 6 in the manual. After telling the story, lead participants through a discussion, referring to the questions provided at the end of the text. Try to set aside about 10 minutes to tell the story and discuss it with participants. For the next 20 minutes, the elder will take over and give their teaching. This week's teaching should complement the session's theme, with the focus on regulating emotions and managing anger. Please talk with the elder about their contribution ahead of time, and provide them with the resources available in the program materials. After the elder speaks, invite participants to complete the story worksheet in the youth booklets, and to share their thoughts on the elder's words. Next, you'll be splitting the group up for between 25 and 40 minutes of breakout activities. Youth will cut out the temper gauge from their booklets and shift the gauge in accordance with their emotions as they listen to different scenarios. After this, youth play a game of musical chairs that prompts them to identify situations that produce and diffuse anger. Refer to the material in Session 6 of the manual for detailed instructions. If you're running 2.5-hour sessions, play the Child Who Hammered Nails video, available on our website and on the DVD you received with the program materials. Then, run through the questions provided in the manual. Adults will also take part in a temper gauge activity. From here, they'll participate in a talking circle that focuses on anger management. If you're running 2.5-hour sessions, steer adults towards a worksheet called Understanding Anger and Anger Producers in their booklets and have them complete them. If you're running 2.5-hour sessions, play the video called Anger for all participants and hold a brief discussion on participants' impressions of the video. If you're running 2-hour sessions, go straight from the breakout sessions to the last group activity. Direct participants to the Tree of Life activity in the youth booklets called Balance. Participants will discuss the ways they experience anger and come up with strategies to help them find calm. If families come up with skills that they're happy with, they can integrate them into the branches in their family trees. Session 6 comes to a close after the group activity. We recommend that you thank participants for their presence and let them know that you're looking forward to seeing them at the following session. Next, explain the take-home activity, which asks participants to reflect on some of the solutions they've used to deal with small problems. Finally, you can lead participants through a relaxation exercise or ask the elder to offer a closing word or observe any other meaningful practice. Please keep in mind that this video is only a summary of the session. Make sure to read the detailed description in the manual and to prepare the material as indicated. Thank you for your role in bringing the Listening to One Another program to families in your community.